Yo, what's going on, guys? We have a brand new archetype coming out in Dimension Force called the Scareclaws. We're going to be checking them out in this video, and on top of that, we get new Warrock support. I mean, who's looking forward to that? Alright, drop a like on this video, but let's go ahead and get started with some of the newer Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So, starting right off, we have the Visas Stafra. So, I guess these are like people that turn into beast or something like that. Anyway, because some of these are warriors and some of them are like beast, warrior. But first off, Visas Stafras is a light warrior tuner effect with it being level 6, 2100 attack, 1500 defense points, and it says you can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. The first part of the effect is if this card is in your hand, you get to target one monster you control with a different type and attribute, destroy, and if you do, special summon this card. Second part is when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can make this card gain attack equal to half the destroyed monster's original attack or defense, which one is ever higher. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Being able to target a monster you control, as long as it's in your hand, you get to pop it. That can activate a lot of different effects in Yu-Gi-Oh! This is almost splashable in a lot of different things, like scraps could proc their effects. That is actually pretty cool. Plus, it is a tuner, so you just special summon it, and it's a level 6. There's going to be a lot of play with it. Plus, it's a warrior, so like a soul combo variant decks. There's going to be a lot of play with this card for sure. And then the other effect of it, I don't really know if that's going to be the effect that people are looking for. That's a really good card. Okay, so I don't know, is this even part of the archetype? All right, because the rest, I guess, have ScareClaw in it. So this is ScareClaw Astra, but this is Visas. Okay, I don't know if they're related at all. Anyways, Earth Beast effect, level 3 with 0 attack, 1300 defense points. You can only special summon this card with its first procedure of this card's name once per turn. It says you can special summon this card from your hand to your main monster zone in the column of a Scareclaw monster you control or its adjacent columns. The second part is while you control a defense position Scareclaw monster, Scareclaw monsters in your you control in the extra monster zone can attack a number of times each battle phase up to the number of defense position Scareclaw monsters with different names. Okay, so you get a big boss monster and you're gonna be able to attack multiple times as long as things are in defense. I mean, it doesn't really have that many stats and like very good viability other than it's just like a free special summon card, and then maybe this card could be relevant for the multi-attack. But Scareclaw Veronia is a Earth Beast effect, level 3, 1700 defense points. It says you can only special summon with the first procedure of this card's name once per turn. The first part of it says you can special summon this card from your hand to your main monster zone in the column of a Scareclaw monster you control or its adjacent columns. Second part is if your Scareclaw monster in the extra monster zone attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Okay, I mean, it's like ultimate counter Tyranno, so it can attack multiple times and it's got the piercing kind of. That's actually pretty dang good. Well, I mean, a UTC just does 1,000 more than likely, but nonetheless, that's still a pretty good effect. Scareclaw Acroya is a Earth Beast effect, level 3, 2000 defense points. It says you can only special summon with the first procedure of this card's name once per turn. The first part is you can special summon this card from your hand to a main monster zone in the column of a Scareclaw monster you control or its adjacent columns. Second part is your Scareclaw monsters in the extra monster zone gain 300 attack for each of your defense position monsters. Oh, okay, so that's what it is. It's all about boost up attack. Next up, we have the Scareclaw Reichhart Dark Warrior effect, level 4 with 1500 attack points and 2100 defense points. It says you can special summon with the first procedure of this card's name only once per turn. You can only use its second effect once per turn. So the first part is you can special summon this card from your hand to your main monster zone in the column of a Scareclaw monster you control or its adjacent columns. Second part is if this card is normal or special summon, you get to add one Scareclaw spell slash trap from your deck to your hand. Then if there are 3 or more defense position monsters on the field, you can draw one card. This is probably going to be one of the best cards for the archetype. I mean, just being able to add anything and then you get to also draw. Like, it's looking pretty good. Okay, so this is the big boss monster. It's the one that I showed off in the thumbnail, and it's the one that they've been hyping up because that's in the like intro here for the archetype. So this is Scareclaw Trike Heart, which is a Dark Beast Warrior Link effect monster. And it's a Link 3 with 3000 attack, and the zones are bottom left, bottom, and bottom right. So pretty much the best Link zones. And it's 3 effect monsters, and it must be linked summoned. The first part of it says all face-up monsters on the field are changed to defense position. Unaffected by activated effects from any defense position monster. Third effect is once per turn. If this card in the main is in the extra monster zone, you can target one level 3 Scareclaw monster in your graveyard. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for Scareclaw monsters. Also special summon the targeted monster. And if you do, add one Scareclaw monster from your deck to your hand. This is an amazing boss monster for the archetype. I mean, it's kind of immune to most things except for, I guess, like Link monsters on the turn 1, being able to just all face-up monsters are changed. Is that, like, I'm guessing that's a continuous effect. They're always going to be swapping to defense position. That's kind of like level limit area B, but without the level limit. I think that's such a good effect because I'm wondering, are changed. I'm pretty sure this is an effect that may make things miss timing on certain things because there are cards like that. That could be actually really, really good. If it only had negates all the effects, then it'd be like Baguska, right? Which would be pretty good as well. I think the cards, this archetype's looking pretty good just because of that boss monster, and they're really easy to summon, just like in the same column. Next up, we have Phobia, the Wanton, and the Willful World of Desire. It's the field spell for the archetype. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Also, you can only use its third effect once per turn. The first part of it says, when this card resolves, you get to add a Scareclaw monster or one Visas Stavros. Oh, so it is part of the archetype, that first card, which was weird because it had nothing to do with the rest of the archetype from your deck to your hand. Second part is monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack and defense for each defense position monster on the field. The third effect is, if there are 3 or more defense position monsters on the field, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. I'm wondering if people are going to start running, like, was it Swords of Concealing Light? I remember Dinos were running that card at one point. It's basically like a giant Book of Moon for everything. Just being able to do that, that's not that bad, and then you get to pop some other card. That could be an option, perhaps. And then this card, okay, I need to, like, I feel like the very first card was so weird because it doesn't seem like it was part of the archetype, but it has to be a monster. If it only let you pop any card, this would be so good for other things that would, like, you know, you get the effect off of the card, then you're like, okay, I'm done with it, right? Because you just, when it resolves, you get a search, then it's like, well, whatever, there's a bonus effect. This is like mediocre, but you can do piercing damage and stuff like that. Next up, though, they have the Scarecrow Nova, which is a normal spell card that says you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. The first part of it is to target a Scarecrow monster or one Visas Stavros in your graveyard to special summon in defense position. If a Scarecrow Link monster you control would be destroyed by battle by card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard. It's a fantastic card. You know, you use this to get into the boss monster, then you have some protection. Very good. I mean, the second effect once per turn doesn't really matter too much, considering everything's going to be moving defense. Very awesome. Next up, we have the Scarecrow Slash, which is a continuous trap card. It says you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. The first part of it is once per turn, you can target one Scarecrow monster on one Visas Stavros you control. This turn, it can attack while in face-up defense position. If it does, apply whichever is higher between its attack and defense for damage calculation. The second part is when your opponent activates a card or effect while you control a Scarecrow monster in the extra monster zone, you can send this face-up card from your spell and trap zone to the graveyard to negate that effect. Okay, well, I mean, it would be awesome if it said negate and banish. That'd be like kind of what we would really want to have. Next up, though, we have the Scarecrow Alternative, which is a normal trap card that says you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. Tribute 3 Scarecrow monsters. Your opponent can only special summon monsters in defense position for the rest of the turn. Wow, that's a huge cost, though. The second effect is during your turn, you can banish this card from your graveyard to inflict 100 damage to your opponent for each defense position monster. The second part of the effect is probably not that relevant, but maybe it, like, randomly could go for game. The main effect is to move everything to defense, and like, they're stuck there. I don't know. Wouldn't I just rather make another one of these if I'm able to just get out triple more monsters? I mean, obviously this one requires 3 effect monsters, while this one just does require Scareclaw monsters at the end of the day. I think I'd just rather make another Link monster. I don't know about the other card, but the other trap card is not bad at all, being able to attack potentially, and then you have the negation as well. I don't know, well, obviously the Link is going to have 0 stats for the defense. Do any of these have insane amount of defense? Not really. I don't know why you'd want to attack defense. Maybe, like, randomly you'd really need to get it for the extra damage to make a game. I just don't see that being that viable. But we're not done. We still got the last Warrock. It's called Warrock Medium. Here's the artwork on it. It's a continuous spell card that's supposed to be really good for him. I've heard people say it's really good. It says you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. The first part is when your opponent controls a special monster, you can control a level 7 or higher Warrock monster. It has to be okay, so it's not going to be generic. It has to be a Warrock monster. Neither player can activate the effects of effect monsters on the field during main phase 1. Second part is during your main phase, you can activate this effect. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for warrior monsters. Also, set 1 Warrock spell/trap from your deck directly to your field, except for Warrock Medium. Okay, this effect could be pretty good. I really haven't seen anyone talk or play Warrocks. As far as I was aware of, they were super not very good, and all they would do is boost up the stats by like 200 or something like that, and they had like some floaters. The archetype definitely wasn't really good. I don't really remember the rest of the support. I'm ready at 10 minutes, otherwise I'd go check out the other support. Let me know, guys, is this going to make Warrocks good? Because I feel like, okay, Warrocks were all about boosting stats, right? And then like, okay, so they're just big beat sticks at the end of the day. You just go to main phase 2, you pop everything, and you're like, okay, I've established board control, you just have monsters that can gain attack. Okay, my turn now. Unless they're able to activate another one of these the following turn. I mean, this being able to set one, this could be pretty big if they have like some sort of skill drain for their archetype, but as far as I was aware of, Warrocks weren't really that great, so I don't know if this is going to make them, I mean, obviously it's better than nothing, but like if it was during the main phases, then yes, this would be probably pretty decent, as the skill drain is a really good card. But I'm really more interested in these Scarecrows. I think the Scarecrows have easily high potential to become very good, specifically this first card. It's not even a Scarecrow, it's a Visa Starfrost. I don't know if this is its own archetype or what, but this card, it's just, you just pop something and then you're able to special summon it. And I feel like that effect alone is going to be very, very big. The other effect doesn't really matter. And it's a tuner. Like, I think a lot of decks will just love to run this card. It's a free extra tuner for a lot of different decks. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here and this is your first time and you don't want to miss out on more new Yu-Gi-Oh cards, hit subscribe to the bell and you'll be notified when I drop another video. I'll catch you guys next one. I'm out. Peace.